We now have all 35 songs available for this year's Eurovision Song Contest season. And what better way to shift our focus from the National Song Contest search selections to the internal searches that happened? Welcome to this week's episode of the Eurovision Kiki podcast. I'm Steven.
I'm Doug.
And that only took me about 3 takes to do before I'm satisfied with this one. And if you are new to the Eurovision Kiki podcast, welcome. We are happy to have you here with us today. And if you've never heard of us or if you've never seen us before, we are just 2 guys from across the pond who enjoy all things Eurovision Song Contest. We love to dabble in it. We love to talk about it. We love to explore it. And we are also available with additional content on Instagram or on TikTok. You can find us there at Eurovision Kiki. We love to share our thoughts and our feelings, and we love to engage with folks. So if you like what you see here so far, or if you like what you hear as you are exploring some of our content and this week's episode, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, or if you're catching us here on Spotify. And we thank you in advance. But in the meantime, as I mentioned, this week's episode, we are going to be taking a further exploration into the 10 internal countries that decided to take a little bit of a different approach and look at selecting their artists and performers a little bit more quietly and go about it differently than how various other countries did it, with larger scale platforms and with much larger eyes and ears on them. So Doug, tell us a little bit more about that.
These countries said, we don't care what you think. We don't care what the people think. We're just going to choose, and you're going to have to deal with it, and you better like it.
Like it, love it, or hate it. Like, whatever.
And I think it works for most of these countries where the citizens are saying, yeah, okay, that's not bad. But let's dive into this a little bit more. I want us to maybe get started by looking at some of the songs that came out this past week. So yes, we got 4 songs on Wednesday the 11th into like Thursday the 12th. So there's a lot to choose from. I think the one that I want us to start with is Georgia, because there was a lot of buzz leading up to this. And I say that pun intended. For those who don't know, the artist is Bezekebi, and the song that they released is on Replay. Now, if you've been following the song contest for a while, or you've heard of Junior Eurovision, you may have heard of them before. They have actually already won a song contest when they won Junior Eurovision back in 2008. Now,
this trio is pretty awesome, especially because of that fact and that little aspect in and of itself. But to go from what they competed with in that sort of Eurovision community to what we are seeing now, go say more, Doug. Like, it's
I would love to. So the song that they competed with in 2008 was, I guess, Bzz, like BZZ, and everything was black and yellow. It was very much bee themed. Folks seem to love it in the Eurovision community. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't love it. It's very much Junior Eurovision for a reason. So it's not really my thing. What I can say is thank goodness for the glow up, and that the adults are talking now and they're representing Eurovision as adults.
Again, Junior Eurovision is for a widely different demographic. And so I think for that bracket and that age group, it's a fitting song for when they were competing at that time. And now that they are much more grown up and playing in the major leagues, if you will, on Replay is fun. And what a way to sort of close out the playlist for this year. Definitely a song to get hyped to. What's interesting about this too is that we've known that this trio was going to be the representative for Georgia for a while now, but they sort of kept this song hidden from us up until the very end. I'm gonna say it was worth the wait. I'm hyped. I'm excited about it. I think there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential. This Bezikebi representing Georgia marks the fourth time that a junior Eurovision artist has sort of graduated to the Eurovision stage. The last time that they competed with junior Eurovision, these kids were 10 years old, and now they're 28. So their sound has evolved. They've grown up. They've learned more musicality. Their choreography from the music video is giving me Lady Gaga. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out live, because like with all internal selections, we don't really have a frame of reference for what this looks like live.
I'm always drawn to, and one that I enjoy thoroughly. I have yet to be overly disappointed with them. I'm trying to recall one of the last times I have been disappointed in them, and that's Cyprus. I love me some Cyprus, and I'm loving me some Jella.
Well, I mean, last year you were like, justice for Cyprus. So maybe this is the justice.
This could potentially be the justice that we're looking for. Antigone, and I'm sorry if I've slaughtered her name. I'm very sorry indeed. Beautiful representation of Mediterranean culture. I love Jella. Like every time that song comes on, I want to shake my hips. I want to just like
if you're in a bad mood, if you're in a bad mood, I need you to put this song on, because you're immediately going to like put a smile on your face. I would my assessment of this song is it's light and fresh. It's just, it's not heavy. It's not weighing you down. You're just like, hey, it's been a tough day. I'm putting this song on.
Yep, absolutely. Like I said, I want to get on a table, kind of just do exactly what she's saying in her song, dancing on a table, baby, shake my hips. Like we're going to be doing a lot of that. And maybe throw in a shot or two, like while I'm doing that. So,
right. I mean, as always with a small country, I am terrified for them. But we know that the juries are back in the semifinals. And so I'm hopeful that will play out in her favor. So my fingers are crossed for a good result. I'd love to see this song in the top 10 in the finals.
One can hope, and let's kind of
early prediction, but that's my hope.
Let's try for it.
So, I mean, these internal selections are always a bit of a, I don't know, gamble. Maybe that's not the right word, but we just don't have a backing, a following of this song prior. If songs that go through the national selection, you'd like to think that their country is like behind them and recognizing that we chose this song, whereas these songs are a little bit less of a following going into it, unless you're Australia and you are a powerhouse vocalist from your country and everyone goes, well, obviously we're sending her because she's amazing. And so
you might as well.
That is Delta Goodrem and her song Eclipse. It's beautiful. I love it. The vocals, stunning.
This song is currently on repeat for me. Like, if you are also just somebody like us who is kind of keeping tabs on the polls that continue to get shaken up and continue to kind of evolve as predictions continue to get made. This is the first time in a while that Australia has been within the top 5 to win. This is how strong that song is right now. And even with all 35 songs out right now, that is phenomenal for Australia to now be a contender. So I'm with it. I'm about it. Her vocals are beautiful. Her presence is stunning. I'm really excited to see this live on stage. I'm interested to see if it's going to be similar to what her music video produced, where we are in the like deserts, if it's going to be sandy, or what we're going to be experiencing that is, symbolic of the eclipse that she is discussing and singing about in her song.
Yeah, and I think that's one one thing when it comes to any internal selections, we are always going to speculate on what the staging is going to look like. At least in a national selection, you've seen it once before. And yes, they can make changes, they can heighten it, whatever, but we just have no clue what to expect. Again, she can sing the hell out of this song. So I'm excited to see where it goes. One thing I do want to mention is, I mean, she does have an established career already. She's not really a new artist. She's a true millennial in the sense that, Steven, I think she's just a few months younger than you.
Great. Thank you.
Not to date you, and I won't say what that age is, but her debut album came out in 2003, and then she served as a coach of The Voice Australia from 2012 to 2020, and the last few years she's sort of released a single here and there. So is this the start of sort of a chapter, a new chapter in her music career and really getting her name to the international stage? I'm excited to see the internal selections. I think they knew what they were doing when they were like, "What? This is our star power," and it's easier to do a star power internal selection than it is to say throw the 18s on the Melfest stage.
Hey, now. Well, what's interesting again, and maybe this was something we should have brought up earlier, but with these internal selections, it's interesting because you have a committee that's typically made up of broadcasters or people within the country's music industry that choose these representatives, therefore bypassing any type of national song contest where there's a public vote or some type of voting process. So they're really trying to look at doing this in a different sort of strategic approach with the Eurovision Song Contest as a whole. What baffles me though is that you have a country like Australia that is putting together and sending somebody very high profile and very well known for their country that has such success, like Delta Goodrem. And then you have the United Kingdom, who decides to go with a musician by the name of Look Mum No Computer.
Thank you for the little bit of accent there.
You're welcome. It was pretty bad, and I apologize. And their song is Einstein Dry. Did I do it right?
Sure, probably. We're gonna go with it.
No, Eins Dry. Probably even worse.
I'm just gonna let it happen because the problem is if I try, I will probably fail just as bad. So we're counting in German 1, 2, 3. Let's just say
counting it. It's German for 1, 2, 3. I promise I will get better, folks.
Here's the problem: is UK is damned if they do and damned if they don't.
It is.
So if they send an established artist, people cry that, oh, it's too safe. But if you send something that's a little bit more experimental, outside the box, people are like, oh, it's so weird. Why would you do that? So no matter what, the haters are going to hate on the UK.
And this is that song where it first came out and I'm like, what are we doing?
What's happening?
But now as I continue to listen to it, I'm like, they might actually be taking a very strategic risk here where it may actually do much better than what we are giving it credit for. Whether or not we see that now is hard to say, but I think that it is not necessarily one that we should sleep on.
No, I would say that it's definitely a song I have come to enjoy. The first listen, yes. WTF am I listening to?
Yes.
And that's where I get concerned because we are in that Eurovision bubble. The rest of the people who only follow the contest when it's happening, are they going to hear this song for the first time and have that, reaction and go, what am I listening to? And then it's not going to get the votes. Whereas the folks that have listened to it, dozens of times
over
are going to love it. So that's where I get a little scared for them. But it's catchy. It's fun. As a member of the Big Four, obviously we know they're making it to the finals.
Yes.
what's gonna happen from there is hard to say.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're taking big risks here. Especially
I
given
commend
the
them for
fact,
those risks.
especially given the fact that they not only are part of the Big Four, they have that somewhat goes against them, that they also do an internal selection. So there's really no public voice there that helps in the selection process, also goes against them. And his aesthetic, his musicality, and the type of, song
It's
that he's
very
bringing,
experimental. It's outside the box. I think it's going to be polarizing. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I hope that more people love it than hate it.
Exactly. Like I said, you and I are speaking the same language here. We were both like, what? WTF? What is happening here? But as we continue to listen to it, I'm like, they might be onto something. And this could go one or two ways. And I am very interested to see which way that goes at this point now.
I mean, for those of you who are joining us who are newer to the Eurovision community, it's kind of like the UK's thing to get last place or no points from the public. And so the name of the artist, I feel like he's sort of set himself up for the jokes with "Look, Mum, no points." So I feel bad a little bit, but we've seen it a lot already, and it's kind of a carryover even from last year with Remember Monday and their song "What the Hell Just Happened," and we would always, jokingly say, "Oh my God, what the hell just happened?" So like the UK just keeps repeating these same things, giving us more puns every year. So I guess thank you.
What's another country that you just say thank you to? Like,
well, I think I might be way too nice this year because there's not a lot of songs that I'm just like hard pass. There are some that just aren't up there for me, and this might shock our viewers who have been with us for a while when I'm always like on the side of France. I'm not on the side of France this year.
Which is interesting, and I would love for you to say more. You are always Team France. That's why I'm just like.
Well, that's the thing is like I'm always Team France. Like if your song is in French, chances are I'm gonna love it. It just felt like the French internal selection went. You know what has won recently? It's opera. It's
and for our viewers, this is Monroe and her song. It's just Regard.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a good, like, she can sing it. Please don't get me wrong. She has the talent. I mean, she competed in some song contests previously. This is her third single. The other two were released in 2025.
I do enjoy the song. Yes, there are elements of opera in it, and it's just she can't help that is part of her classically trained music background. We can't fault a person for doing that, and we can't fault a country for deciding that is who they will be selecting. Again, internal selection, that's what it's all about this week. And if that is what France has decided they want to do this year, that is what France has decided that they want to do this year. Let's see what the rest of the juries and the public think when it comes to that. But like,
it's going to do well.
Yeah.
Because again, I believe that people hear opera and there's this like, I have to like it. Like it's artsy. It's a fancy book. Like I have to like opera. Otherwise I don't have any culture. Again, that is my hot take. I just don't want to see opera win a third year in a row. I'm over it.
I will let our listeners feel free to.
Oh, they can trash me. Absolutely, bring it. I love it.
Feel free to leave comments down
subscribe,
below,
and then trash me, please. Thank you.
Feel free to let your thoughts be known on Doug's feelings toward France's entry down below in the comments.
Oh goodness. Okay.
What I will note, what we will note about Monroe is that she I believe is the youngest performer this year for Eurovision Song Contest at 17 years old.
Oh, yeah. Because Cosmo's 19, and I think he's the next youngest.
Yes. So we are, for somebody at that age to be performing with vocals like that, to
Her
me,
talent is undeniable.
Is extremely impressive. Yes. And just that level of maturity alone, I think, is phenomenal.
She has the talent. I just there is that part of me that hesitates because of the opera. I do still think she'll get a very good result. Another artist who has a phenomenal voice is Daniel Zizka from Czechia with the song Crossroads. I truly believe his voice is outstanding.
Yeah.
I just don't know that this song really gives him the platform at the Eurovision stage that he's hoping for. And I say that because it's a little slow. It doesn't build very quickly. And right as I thought it's going somewhere, he sings the word crossroads for 30 seconds.
Personally, I thought Kiss Kiss Goodbye was a much stronger entry for Czechia last year than Crossroads. And so this is a song for me that does get forgotten. And Kiss Kiss Goodbye did not qualify last year, which was one of the shockers that I think we had here at the Eurovision Kiki podcast.
Which I think came down to the day of performance.
Right. But also, I think a lot of people were somewhat taken aback that they did not qualify. However, that second semifinal was a strong semifinal just to begin with, so we knew that we were going to lose some strong songs. We did not, however, think we were going to lose that song.
Right. So,
just say, that being said, I would be very surprised with where we're at right now if Crossroads did qualify to the grand final.
Interesting. There's two different sides of me. The side of my personal preference on who makes it through to the finals. This does not fall into that category. Again, voice undeniable. The song isn't there for me personally. Now, that being said, if I had to do a prediction of what I think is going to actually happen, I think this might make the finals because people are going to recognize his raw talent, not necessarily the song, but his talent.
I mean, let's see how it turns out when he's actually live and has this on. I want to see the actual live performance and like staging and things like that. Maybe my perception and my thoughts will change. Where it stands right now, I am bored.
Tell us how you really feel.
I know. You have your feelings about France. I have my feelings about Czechia this year. So,
and all feelings are valid. This is a slightly judgmental free zone. Because we still respect every single artist for getting up here and being on the Eurovision stage.
For sure.
There's zero hate for these songs. If a song advances that I didn't necessarily see going to the finals, I'm not going to like riot. It's just, I just have, there's a song for everybody, and that was not for me.
Yeah.
So another song that maybe just isn't for me is Switzerland, Veronica Fusaro, Alice. I do believe she's got a beautiful voice. I think this song would actually do very well on American radio. Or Lilith Fair. I just don't see it on the Eurovision stage placing high.
Yeah. Switzerland, where do I begin with you? They've had a couple of strong years these past couple of years. And when you it's hard. You should never compare past years.
Yes,
as I just did.
Comparison is the thief of joy?
Yeah, as I just did with Czechia. However, I have to do it, like in this case, you look at where we just came from, host country Switzerland, who we were surprised and yet not with Zoe May's top 10 performance, because you just can't deny that it was good. And then the year before that, you can't deny that Nemo had a standout, stellar, winning performance. So it's hard to necessarily say that this song Alice is equally in that boat.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
it's
tough when you start comparing past years.
Yeah.
You're going to end up like hating every song because you're like, oh, I've listened to that one 400 times. I love it. This is brand new. Don't love it. So that's hard. But I get what you're saying. Yes.
They're taking a risk with this one.
I want to give them some props and some recognition that there is representation here for the LGBT community, because the song is about Alice, who she is singing to. You know, we see it in the music video, the story that Alice is marrying a man, but she's in love with Alice. And, she, you know, the lyrics say, I know you really, really love me. Don't lie. You only gotta give it some time.
Yeah.
So I am thankful that kind of a song and those lyrics are on the Eurovision stage in 2026.
Yes, we do love our queer representation, no doubt. And we do love that Eurovision allows that to have a platform for that. So can't fault that whatsoever. No.
That being said, it's not for me. It's not my typical go-to, but if it were to advance to the finals, I could understand why, because it has a little bit of a different vibe, different beat. It's giving us kind of that, like, I don't know, like indie rock of sorts.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on a completely different vibe note is Belgium. You've got I'm not sure how to pronounce Esila?
Yeah.
Dancing on the Ice.
Yeah. Belgium doing what Belgium do. Belgium, like, I'm here for it.
You know, every year I go, oh, Belgium, I kind of like that. And then we get to the Eurovision stage and the rest of the world says no. Yep. And I go, oh, all right. I guess we didn't like that. So I'm hopeful but skeptical that they will advance to the finals.
Belgium has had a rough few years.
They really have. Pour one out for Red Sebastian. Musti. Is that how you say it?
Yes. It's just the last time that they've qualified was with our friend Gustav.
Oh yeah, Gustav.
Yes. And so I really do want to see them do well this year. I'm hopeful that this song will do that. And like I said, I think I'm vibing with it right now. I will be excited to see like how this transforms on a main stage and live. And so
it's very Billie Eilish coded.
Yes.
It is every vibe pop that you think of. Like it's Billie Eilish meets pop.
Yes.
And so I'm here for it. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Maybe it doesn't receive the recognition it will deserve, but juries are back in semifinals. But I don't know that this is even a jury forward song. So yeah, I'm just not sure where to go to it with this one.
Semifinal placement and who's kind of given like elbows to who to like make sure their friends are getting some points. I think that will help.
Yeah. And I do think that Belgium made a good choice in terms of like picking someone that people probably have at least heard of before, because she started her performing career back in 2020 and she competed on The Voice Belgium where she placed second. So I don't know how popular The Voice Belgium is, but the fact that you place second in their song contest hopefully means that you are sort of a recognizable name for many. So we're kind of coming down to the wire here. I think there's really just two that we want to also mention that were internal selections. I could probably talk for 10-15 minutes about Azerbaijan and just all the controversies that are suddenly surrounding this. So let's just get right to it. Jiva is maybe how you say that. So Jiva and Just Go. Where do we go?
Tell us where we're going.
Stephen, I need to know what you think first before I just go off on them.
Every year I want to see Azerbaijan do so well. And like for the last couple of years, I'm like, please do well, please do well, please do well. Last year, I thought
they released their song.
Yeah, last year I thought they were gonna do it with Mama Gama. I was like really hoping for it. And they got to the live performance and I was like, oh, they didn't do it. And now here we are this year, and I'm so underwhelmed with it. Like it's not my cup of tea. Unfortunately, like I had high hopes for it when I heard the first snippet of it, but then as I listened to the song in its entirety, I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah. And I think I'm right there with you, is that I want to like it.
Yeah.
Conversations I've had with some other folks is like, I so desperately want this to be good. And so like there is a little bit of a blinder on going, yeah, this is okay. But then you like sit with the song and you listen to it, you see the lyrics, and then you're just And so there's two controversies surrounding this song already. And so that makes it even harder to be like, yeah, go Azerbaijan. So we're going to talk about them. The two controversies, the first one is about their process in general. And what's wild is that they have already put out an official statement that's like 6 or 7 paragraphs long, trying to justify why they picked her. And I mean, this is like an official statement from the broadcaster and the selection folks, where they said the process was carried out on the basis of a multi-stage and professional selection. A total of 100 applications were received. Okay, great. A total of 100 applications were received, but this is where it gets controversial, because then they said from the initial stage, Jiva's candidacy was separated, reviewed by experts as part of the selection process, and its success as the winner of the Voice Azerbaijan project were also taken into account. So 100 people submitted the application, and then she comes in and they're like, oh yeah, we'll consider her too. That's like when I apply to a job, but then the boss's kid didn't have to interview.
Right. Just like skip the line. We're just going to skip the line.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Nothing to see here.
Yep.
But then they go on to say the fact that she was already a well-established performer on the professional stage and with strong live vocal abilities and years of stage experience, and as a result of the auditions, 2 more candidates were identified, thus making the final shortlist. I just think that is them saying, we're going to pretend like the process was legit. Here's 2 other people that we were considering, and I'm putting that in quotes.
Because it's like we already knew who we were going to pick. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So the fact that you are putting out a statement trying to justify your selection tells me already that you're like justifying it to yourself. Like, if we convince ourselves that it was legit, you'll agree with us.
It's almost like we have this internal hire, but we're going to post the job anyway, just to make it seem like it's legitimate.
And that's how I feel for these other artists. If there were 100 people who submitted a song who literally had no chance whatsoever, why waste their time?
So what was the other controversy?
So the other controversy is the lyrics. So the songwriter the song is credited to, and I'm going to butcher this name and I apologize, Javadov, Fuad, last name Javadov. Javadov. And his online presence shows that there's a YouTube channel, and it mainly features songs and videos that appear to be generated using AI tools. This includes the music, the visuals, the text, the actual music videos themselves all seem to be AI generated of sorts. And so now there's sort of this, is this song AI generated? Which is a huge kind of outcry people are against. Now it gets worse. Hold on to your butts. The song title of one of his songs on his YouTube channel is called "Get," which apparently translates from Azerbaijani to English as "Go." Okay. That's getting real close to the song that they're putting into Eurovision.
Yeah.
And if you go to the YouTube channel, which I did, I wanted to verify this from what I'd read. The description specifically says, "Go, I don't love you anymore," which is suspiciously exactly like one of the lyrics from the song.
Oh.
So it's messy. Here's the thing. The song lyrics themselves, AI generated or not, are very basic.
Right. That's the key piece here, is where I'm just like incredibly underwhelmed. And it's just, where are we going with this song? All of those things.
Yes. It makes you go, this song is either written by a child or it's AI.
Yeah.
And again, I'm trying not to shade, because I respect the artist who is going to represent them, that she is getting up there and she is singing, and her vocals, she can sing it. I just think that what she was given
is not the best thing.
Whether she was given it or she helped create it or whatever, the song is not doing her favors.
Not necessarily the best thing that she could be presenting with her talent.
Right. So that being said, will the folks outside of our Eurovision bubble who will not know any of that information, how will they feel when they hear it potentially for the first time? Because this is giving pop ballad girly vibes. So does it have potential?
We shall see.
We shall see. This is like early prediction that I am fearful for that this could advance to the finals. So this would be my shocking prediction if it did qualify. Like, it would be my shocking qualification.
Ugh. Well, bop or flop still to come as a future episode.
Still to come, folks. Stay tuned. But I think you know the answer. But stay tuned.
Yes. Well, let's round this out with our last country. And that is, I think, one of the last songs that we got, which was Armenia. And Simone and his song, Paloma Rumba.
Like Roomba as in like it's going to vacuum my floor?
No.
Oh, Rumba.
Rumba.
Okay.
Did I say Roomba?
No, that's just me trying to be funny.
Okay.
Thanks for calling me out. Thanks. But what we do know about this song is he's bringing the Post-it notes back. He's doing a shout out to Rosalind and Snap. So Post-it notes are back, folks.
I'm ready for it. I love this song. I love his vibe. I love the hype. I love what I'm seeing aesthetically. And
I mean, he does have abs for days.
There is just something about these Armenian men that, like, how do they make them there?
Let's talk a little bit about that selection. And this is a country that had a national selection last year, but this year chose to do an internal selection. So they had a shift. And this is noteworthy because he was in their national selection last year. He won their national jury and the international jury, but placed fourth with the public. And so his result was second, which is why Parr advanced to the Eurovision stage last year. So in some ways, if the national jury loved it, if the international jury loved it, did Armenia go, let's get him back on the stage?
Yeah.
Like, you're second place. They loved you. If the juries love you, you'll probably do well at Eurovision. Here's a song, ready, go.
Yeah, where they like, we're not taking any chances this year. We want to see some success again.
Right.
Let's just go.
That being said, I did go back and listen to his song from last year, which, again, pronunciation, apologies. I Papre Bai. I'm going to be honest with you, didn't love it. Very glad to see him with this year's song, Paloma Rumba. Much improvement. So I think things worked out the way they needed to, and he had a chance to really give us an elevated song that fits him. I also think that he kind of brings like so many things to the song. You know, you've got like various genres: cultural, rock, rap, dance. Like, he just threw it all together, and for me, it works.
Yes, I'm ready for it. It's the best way I can put it.
That being said, there's always a but. For me, the last 20 seconds are almost a little too chaotic.
Nonsense.
That is my only criticism of it. I would say for me, the song goes from an A to like a B plus grade wise, because that last 20 seconds just leaves kind of this like, taste in my mouth. And I don't know what that last part was. So that's my only criticism of the song.
It's interesting that you say that, because we literally saw JJ win with Wasted Love, and
in the last 20 seconds.
And the last 20 seconds is unnecessary chaos that I was not about, but yet you and Katie were all about last year. And
that's because the last 20 seconds were the only good part of the song. I said what I said.
If you say
I said what I said, internet.
We're a house divided. We're a Kiki divided when it comes to that one. This one,
and that's fine. But no, I do genuinely overall really enjoy the song. You know, his song is about office culture and, you know, the backlash of it and not wanting to be a part of it. And I too am against office culture. So Armenia, UK, you are both anti like office culture establishment.
It's about,
and I'm here for it.
Yeah. They're about breaking that 9 to 5, like, live it up.
Yeah, I mean, in the song he says, "Delete my number, burn the phone," and honestly, every Friday, that's my feelings. Like, slams laptop shut, burn my number.
Shout out to Sunday Scaries. Follow them on Instagram if you don't, and slam your laptop shut till Monday or Tuesday if you can. With that being said, we have just gone through countries that did the exact opposite of what we've been covering these last several weeks and have gone internal. They're exciting to listen to. And if you are catching this on our YouTube channel, we'll be sure to include links to their songs and their music videos in the description section below, so you can get a chance to give those a listen. And we will also be sure to include the current playlists that are available on Spotify, so you can catch snippets and listens to those songs as well. I'm curious.
Waiting on you.
What's that?
Georgia, we're waiting on your song.
Also waiting for you, Georgia. But if you're listening on YouTube, you can't catch it. So, boom. I am curious, however, to know from folks that are catching this week's episode, to know what your thoughts are on some of these internal selections and some of these countries that we talked about in this week's episode. So by all means, throw your thoughts down below in the comment section, and let us know. Are you part of like Doug's thought process on some of these countries, or are you part of my thought process on some of these countries? Or are you just undecided as of right now, since it's still too early to call? We want to know your thoughts, so let it be known down below. I think that's going to do it for now on this week's episode of the Eurovision Kiki podcast. So we want to thank you all for hanging out with us again this week. Be sure to stick around as we jump into some more of these countries that we have yet to talk about. I think we'll jump back into some of the national song selections, or maybe even just take a look at some of the other songs that we have yet to cover overall. Be sure to catch some of our additional content over on Instagram or on TikTok by searching at Eurovision Kiki. That'll do it. I think we'll see you all at our next Kiki.
Bye.
Bye.